If you ever try to find out how long it will take you to learn SQL, then you've probably heard anything between 1 hour and a lifetime, or you've been given something vague like, okay, how long is a piece of string? And yes, I understand, it depends, and that's a sensible answer, but how helpful is it? So my goal today is to deconstruct what actually does it depend on, and to give you a formula so that you could calculate how long it will take you to learn SQL. So let's begin. Here's the formula, and the total hours is your answer. And it's calculated by multiplying all of this. Starting hours is the maximum number of hours depending on your goal. I will explain. Then we multiply it by a series of 7 accelerator variables that act as multipliers in the formula. For example, if you do something that speeds up your learning by 10%, then the multiplier will be 0.9, shortening your time to learn. So first, let's find out your starting hours. And that depends on your goal, like I mentioned. So, 4 types of goals. Number 1, you are a data curious user, so you want the basic ability to pull some data, maybe slice it or apply some filters. And let's put your starting hours at 60 hours. Number 2, you want to use SQL for data analysis purposes and use it regularly and professionally. Your starting point is 200 hours. 3, you are a data adjacent developer, an engineer who needs SQL to build apps. Your starting point, 350 hours. Number 4, you want to be an expert at managing database systems. You're looking at about 700 hour starting point. Now, let's apply accelerator variables. So these are all the circumstances and ways within and out of your control, both, that will speed up your learning. First, your starting experience. So a complete beginner to technology starts at the baseline, meaning there is no multiplier. If you're proficient with tools like Excel, for example, then you learn about 15% faster. So that gives you a multiplier of 0.85. If you already know a programming language like Python or JavaScript, then you learn about 30% faster. That means a multiplier of 0.7. Second, your consistency of study. Sporadic studying would be the baseline. Regular studying a few times a week would help by 10%, and focus time every day would help by 20%. Number 3, hands-on practice. So videos, articles, and random courses with exercises is baseline. Know that exercises are mandatory. If you don't do exercises, you never learn SQL. So basic exercises, baseline. Now building personal projects in addition to that helps by 20%. Applying what you learn at work, if you're lucky to have that opportunity, adds 35%. 4, quality of resources. Random online content is the baseline. A good book on SQL or database foundations, plus 10%. A high quality structured and interactive course, 15%. 5, using AI. So if you're using chat to ask about the syntax or what is the solution to the exercise, today that is the baseline. If you ask AI to explain fundamentals or clarify questions that weren't covered by your learning materials, plus 10% to you. And if you use it to test yourself, to create personalized exercises based on your weak spots, well, then it's plus 20%. 6, access to help. If you're on your own baseline, online forum or community, plus 5%, teacher, mentor, plus 10%. 7, your learning environment and self-care. So distracting space, learning tired after a busy day, baseline. Quiet space, but maybe so-so energy management, 10%. And then managing your sleep and nutrition, in addition to having a dedicated space, plus 20%. Now, let's take two examples. Say there's this data analyst, Boris. He spent his professional life with Excel and that was sufficient, but he always felt uncomfortable not knowing SQL and decided to learn the basics. Excel gives him a good starting point, but life is busy, motivation is so-so, primarily driven by guilt of not knowing SQL, so he doesn't put much effort into anything, so there's almost no multipliers there. He needs 51 hours, and if he dedicates 3 hours a week, he's looking at 70 weeks or 4 months. And another example, developer Liz, who needs to upskill at her job, and her company paid for a good quality course and lets her dedicate time for learning at work. She expects a promotion, so she puts in weekends as well, does everything right, asks for help, and the only problem is that she exhausts herself and doesn't eat well and loses the 10% advantage. So she's looking at starting point was 350 and the result is 70. With 1 hour every day, there's 10 weeks or 2.5 months. So much faster than Boris for achieving much more, actually. So run the numbers for yourself. Let me know what you got. If you like, subscribe. And if you're skeptical, comment what would you do better? How would you change this formula to be more accurate? Thank you for watching and see you soon.